Hello, my dear listeners. I have something that I want to speak to you today about. Something called the Global Union. The Global Union is a combination of Africa and the European Union becoming one. I don't see no other way. I think Africa has stuff that Europe needs, Europe has stuff that Africa needs, and together they can become one. I don't believe in China's debt that, they're borrowing money to poor African countries, and like they did in Sri Lanka, they borrowed them some billions, 12 billions, I think, or something like that, and they couldn't pay back, so they had to stay in Sri Lanka for 99 years to come to, exploit the natural resources. I believe in the European Union. I think the European Union is more fair to work with Africa. I think the European Union has more to give than China when it comes to cooperation with Africa. I've been living in Europe since I was 8 years old. I was born in Senegal, but my mama moved to Sweden very early. So I moved along with her, and Sweden has become my home. I never forgot Senegal, but Sweden has become my home. And I'm working now to build my party to make it bigger. The Freedom Party of the Sun is called. And this dream that I have with the European Union and Africa working together in a global union is something that I've been dreaming about a long time ago. I've always seen a possibility for Africa and Europe to work together. I mean the whole Africa, not just one country or one state, the whole Africa. I know there's a problem going on in South Africa with farmers getting killed, white farmers getting killed. And I hope that we can stop this problem. I hope that we can rise above the occasion and become one and not fight, not talk about slavery and not talk about everything that has been. I think it's better to move forward. Africa's moving forward. Europe is moving forward. Better to work with an adversary than to have an adversary. Because an adversary can always make it harder for you. But if you work with him, it will be easier for the both of you. So I think that a global union with everything that Africa has and everything that Europe has would be perfect right now. The time is perfect right now to make this happen. People can say, yeah, you are dreaming and this will never happen. This is too big. But I remember Martin Luther King had a dream. I remember Malcolm X had a dream. All Africans in America had a dream. I remember. And that dream became reality. I'm young. I'm 40 years old. And I think within 20 years, this could be made a possibility. But the European Union has to work with Africa. If they could work with our party in some way to make this happen, it would be good. It would be very good. Because I think that Africa and Europe has exactly the opposite of each other. The opposite, then I mean that Africa has what Europe needs, Europe has what Africa needs. So they have the opposite to be able to work together. I don't believe in Pan-Africanism. I don't believe in that. I think that is a unsafe subject that would bring us to war one day. With all the suffering that Africa has gone through, I don't think we need that. What I think we need is a global union. A global union where Africa will work with Europe. This is one of the big goals of the party. This is the heart of the party. This is what we've been working on now. And this is what we are trying to make possible. I hope you understand what I mean. In a global union. We can call it something else if you want to. African-European Union. Or something like that. But I say the global union because Africa is so big in this globe. Europe is so big in this globe. So would you form that to a union that would become a global union? And I think that people in Africa have suffered for too long. The exploitations have to stop. And I think the people that can make it possible, that is understanding that Africa is waking up now, is the Europeans. And I think that if we could move past China, move past all these military bases that is being built in Africa, to keep the Africans from rising above the current standard of their living, I think we have something big going on, something huge going on. I really think so. But it's up to the big elite politicians to take steps to form this union. We have a plan for the global union. We have a plan on how we're going to do this. Everything is about politics. Politics make the world go around today. So we have to work with politics to make this happen. I'm not thinking something else than to make this happen. They can say that this is impossible. Well, nothing is impossible until you try it. I have to say what I think. People may say stuff that is not right. People may hear stuff that is not right. But this is a plan from an African from an African living in Europe. Just look at the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean between Italy and Africa. How many people are getting killed every day? Look at the Libyan slavery that happened right now. Look at everything that happened. There is a huge need for Africa and Europe to work together, not just in small questions, but in bigger terms. All the right wings that is happening in Europe, that won't take Europe nowhere. It won't take Europe nowhere. All the right-wing parties that is coming up won't take Europe nowhere. We have to understand that we have to share this world. We have to share the burden in the world. We have to share everything and become a united front. This is something that the United Nations should have thought of a long time ago. This is something that the African Union should have thought of a long time ago. But I think too much old people that don't understand the new ways of the young people is the cause of this. We need to get rid of corruption, both in Europe and Africa. Corruption is killing the nations. Corruption is killing the nations. We need to work together to become better, to become smarter, to become more bold, to become more wise, to understand that an African Union is the only way forward. If somebody tells you something else, they're not right. And they don't know what is going on in the world today. All the wars in Africa, all the terrorism in Africa, Europe could help stop that. China has seen this idea that I'm talking about. So they're making a huge leap in Africa to try to gain power over all countries, giving money to right and left, right and left. I think that Europe should wake up. Europe should rise above the occasion and work with Africa. Africa should rise till the occasion and work with Europe. It's what I feel. It's what I feel. After almost 32, 33 years in Europe, seeing people come and go, refugees come and die, terrorism occur, I think the only way is to work together. It's the only way to work forward. We can get into the details in another video. I have to look up on that. But this is the Freedom Party of the Sun in Sweden saying the global union. That's how we want it. How do you want it? I must say thank you for your time. Hope that you will tune in more to listen. Africa and Europe. That's all I have to say. Thank you.